Hi, Bob Nagy here with your down and dirty Panasonic camera review. And then this is on the AG-AC160, the one we're looking at here. The 160A is also available right now. In a very short time, I'm going to tell you what myself as a user likes and dislikes about this camera, why you should get one or not get one. So let's talk about the list of plus stuff first. The first thing I'm going to say is when you pull this out of the box, this is a large camera. I mean, I have a big hand, but that's a large camera. Look at the viewfinder. You can tell that compared to the camera, even though this is a 3.5, I believe, viewfinder, this is a humongous camera. Now, the good thing is it's not that heavy, and it's very balanced because they've offset the battery in the back, and this allows your hand position to be in line with the center of gravity, and it feels really just right in the hand over here. And so there's no reason to feel like it's too big to handle if you're an average size person. Believe me, your client will be happy seeing you walk in with this camera. They'll know what they're paying for. Huge lens hood on here, and this thing looks pro all the way. That said, you as the person who touches this camera, it doesn't quite have the fit and finish of the Sonys or the Canons. In other words, Panasonic's a little rough around the edges. Now, I'm just saying this from personal experience that I feel, it's not quite the fit and finish level. But of course, that's not really what we're worried about because we're worried about performance. The number one feature on this thing is the video quality. There's no contest on it. The Panasonic video quality is just superior to the other guys. It just is. And you know it when you see it. Just look on Vimeo, take a good look at the samples over there, the 160 or 160A. Even at 720, which is what Vimeo is showing you, it's pretty obvious. This camera has superior video quality. And what's the bottom line out there? What are you getting the camera for? Yeah, it's got all the same darn features on them. But at the end of the day, when you see the video coming out of this thing, it's clearly superior to the other guys. And of course, this also has another feature I'll tell you that makes it have that video quality that the other guys just don't have. The second feature really is the 22x zoom. The lens in here it's just awesome. What's awesome about it is it's flat across its entire range. Of course, they're doing some compensating and stuff in there so that it is linear across the whole range, and you get it from all the way really wide to something like 610 millimeter equivalent. It has an awesome zoom range, and it just looks flat and clean across its entire range. The number three thing to love about this camera is its button set. The thing is loaded with buttons, and believe me, that means a lot to me because I don't want to be messing with the menus. I want to have a physical button on the outside that I can hit. It's got all these little hidden buttons over here that you can find your automatic white balance, iris, all the focus and stuff, plus a mechanical adjustment here, a knob that kicks in your neutral density filters. That's really nice because you want to keep the f-stop f4 or wider with this kind of sensor size so you get your optimum sharpness. Once you go over f4, f4.8, you're going to start to reduce overall sharpness due to optical effects with the small sensors. So having the neutral density adjuster right there is really a superior thing. The number three thing about this camera that makes it rock is the 3-ring set over here. And it's not just a big, good, heavy-duty knurled knob for the focus and your iris adjustment, but the zoom lever is mechanically connected to the zoom lens. You can hear it going in there. It has a little bit of heft when you push it, and that allows you to do that really fast zip, zip, back and forth, jump zoom effects that you can do with the mechanically connected zoom thing with a knob lever on it and stop points that you can't really do with the servo fly-by-wire zoom adjustment rings. So that's a real big plus. And there is a ton of I/O. This is very important. So you've got everything you could possibly want on this thing, including FireWire out, USB 2.0, your headphones. You got your camera remotes on there. You got an SDI out connector, although it's only 8-bit, so it's not full 422 out of it. But you got DV out. You got everything on there. So it's all rubber capped off here, which is sort of really nice. And here's another thing that I really love about this camera. The custom presets, in this case called the scene files over here, everybody has their different name for this kind of thing, not quite lock and focus on that thing, is a knob that you can get right to back here at the viewfinder, which is really superb because, man, you're trying to get to your custom presets that you've set up so you make your camera really rock, and you've got to go deep in the memory on most of these cameras to change those scene preset files. And this one, you can just set up a half a dozen over here and rock right through them, so you can have your indoor, outdoor, low light, films, look, whatever the heck you want, super crispy, punch up the colors, la-di-da, all good. So having that as a mechanical switch out there really makes this camera rock. We have two actual joystick things over here. Here's one for navigating around for setting up specific points on the screen where you want it to expose for. Your shutter rate over here is just a rotating dial that you can go, and it's completely adjustable as far as your, you can go ahead and do your frame rate adjustments on the fly right here. Turn your display on and off. There's like an auto manual, typical stuff. Audio gain right over there. Standard deals here with your white balance preset and your 3 presets for gain. Your iris control for manual or automatic. There's all your focus and stuff over there. But lots of buttons, and I really like that. And on the inside here, you've got even more. All kinds of stuff for the microphone, LCD, bring up the waveform monitor, vector scope. Beautiful, beautiful. Turn all the stuff off. Your color bars, all good. So remember, there's a 160 and a 160A. The 160A is the new one. All they did was, this has a contrast type focus in it. And yeah, it's not the fastest, but the truth is they did it nice and slow and evenly, and truthfully, it works a lot better than what people say and people complaining. You know, you only got the people who complain to get on there and do comments about the camera. So the truth is, if you didn't hear any complaints out there and you went and used the camera, the autofocus is perfectly adequate. Plus, it has peaking and red burst stuff where you can just see that, you know, you can adjust it and see all the focus. Makes it really easy to manual focus. And plus, when you manual focus, you can have it set that it automatically tweaks up the focus a little bit right at the end of there. There's 3 user configure buttons, your stabilizer on and off. The 160 has a fast focus built in, and both cameras now, this via a firmware update, are able to shoot in 1080p. 1080p at 28 mbs is huge. It's huge. It's the PA, I believe, designation on the AV-HCD, and realize that as AV-HCD being twice as efficient as, say, straight MPEG-2, that's equivalent to over 50 megabytes easily with a different codec. And the video is shockingly good. These guys did their homework with the 3MOS sensors and the 3rd-inch 3MOS sensors in here. Basically 3 sensors and 1 die. And the darn thing at nighttime is noise-free, up to about plus 15 dB. Shockingly clean resolution even at nighttime. The LED LCD viewfinder here is 1920 by, I believe, 480, and it's really, really nice and clean. The graphics on it are more blocky and simple than, say, the Canons or the Sonys, but absolutely adequate, and it shows you all kind of stuff in there. The viewfinder itself is humongous with the big eye cup on it, which we like the big eye cup to keep the eye, light out. And what was nice was it really worked well with my glasses. My whole glass thing fell right under there, so I didn't have a problem with using my glasses to see out. Now, if I want to complain about this camera, I shall do so right now. And I would say that the stabilizer, which is turned on right over here, is not as good as the Canons and the Panasonics. Okay, it's just not as good. It does work. It works about, feels like about a 5-year-old stabilizer. It's not shockingly good like some of the latest stuff, the advanced powered stabilizers, but with a medium zoomed in shot on your shoulder, you can get a stable shot on this thing. Of course, you got your little zoom rocker on top, a locking record button on top. Your shoe. You can actually mount this thing upside down. There's a tripod mount on the top. And let's see, anything else to complain about? Well, not really. There's just more stuff that's good about it. Like, I want to adjust the audio in my headphones. I got 2 buttons right here. I don't have to go into any menus. I want to navigate through playing back my images. I've got this joystick over here. Boom, 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 boom. Hit the menu really quick. Execute, enter, boom, and they've got the feel just right on this, right amount of pressure to get what you need done. Some people were complaining about turning on the phantom power up here on the microphone situation. And is it going to focus? Yeah. Yeah, you can't be a nail biter like me to get the well, even I was able to turn on the 48 volts here without a problem, even with bit-off nails. So if you got any nails at all, you'd be able to get that switch up. And it's the kind of thing that with either you have mics that require 48 volts or you don't, and you're going to leave it that way. The inboard mics sound great, and there is a little speed adjustment over here for your handle zoom lever. 1, 2, 3 gives you some control over that. So overall, when it comes down to it, super pro-looking camera. a little bit, not quite the build and finish and feel of the Sonys and Canons, but with a tremendous amount of Super Plus stuff on it as far as control, manual control, the neutral density filters, the big 3 rings over here, lots of I/O, lots of buttons where you don't have to go into the menu, and mess with the menu when you wanted to change your, things really fast, shutter speed and things like that. And the big bottom line, picture quality. You can't beat these. Same sensors as in their Pro P2 100 megabit a second cameras, with a big honking 22x lens that gathers a lot of light and is super flat and linear over its entire range. End of the day, you look at the images and that's what you paid your money for. It's just, it looks like a digital still, high-res digital still image that's moving, super clean, super detailed, and with that classic Panasonic very neutral color balance. So I give it 2 thumbs up, absolutely. Once you get used to the bigger size, especially if you use a little shoulder extender over here, you can put on the bottom, and then you can rest it right in your shoulder, and you can have a super pro looking and operating camera. There we go. Panasonic AG-AC160 and 160A, and their little brother, the 130, that does not have the completely variable frame rates and is not updatable to the 1080p. So you pays a little bit more, and you get yourself 1080p and some more fun stuff. And like I said, if I had 3 thumbs, I'd give them 3 thumbs up. Again, Bob Nagy with a review of the Panasonic AG-AC160.